Hey, it's DIY Gemini, and today we are doing 3 DIY gifts that you can make for a housewarming gift for one of your friends or for your family, or for yourself, to be honest. So let's get into it. Okay, so part of the reason I wanted to make this video is because I'm in my 30s, and very proudly in my 30s, by the way. And at least for a couple of my friends and I, like, we are in that stage of trying to figure out our next step in life, right? So we lived our 20s, they were great. They had their upsides and downsides, a lot of learning curves, a lot of fun. But now we're also trying to figure out what is good with our stage in life now. For some of us, that may involve buying a new home for the first time, or moving into a new city or place for the first time. So I wanted to make this video to DIY some gifts as like a housewarming present, a little present for their new home, wherever that may be, whether they own or they rent, it doesn't matter. They are starting their new chapter wherever they are. And it's just a little personal touch. So these are going to be really easy and really simple gifts that anyone can do at any skill level. And I also just wanted to be back inside after working outside for so long on that cabinet that took the life out of me for a second. So I wanted to do something simple inside and manageable. So that's also another reason I wanted to make this video. Yeah, so anyways, so let's get started with the first project, shall we? All right, so for our first project, we are going to be making an apron, and this is going to be good gift for someone who loves to cook or loves to bake. For this one particularly, we are going to be upcycling these 4 kitchen towels that I thrifted for 50 cents for all 4. I love the beautiful green and white striping on this, and they've already been washed. I just need to like cut them up and sew them together. So yeah, let's start off with something easy. Let's do it. First, let's give all the napkins a quick iron. Then I arranged 3 of the 4 napkins like this so that we have a sort of pyramid shape. I also made sure to align the stripes, and then we'll cut off the excess on this side here. We're going to do an inch hem allowance all the way around. So I'm going to sew the 3 napkins together first, and then we'll work on the curved parts and making these straps from the remaining napkin. Now I freehanded a general apron shape, so again we're going to do an inch seam allowance all the way around, and then we'll cut it out. Next we'll trim the corners and cut some slits into the curved parts to allow for easier folding around the curve. And then we'll press. Now it's time to add the pocket. I was deciding whether to have the stripes to go parallel to the rest of the apron or perpendicular. I thought the perpendicular contrasted better, so I did that. Oh, this whole time I wasn't sewing. No. Don't you love that moment when you run out of bobbin thread, you have no idea, you just keep sewing, and then you're just like, dang, I haven't been sewing this entire time. That's what just happened. So let's get to the straps. I cut the remaining napkin scraps into 2-inch strips, and then we'll fold them in half and sew all the way down the long edge. Next, we'll turn the tube right side out and give it a quick press. And then we'll sew on our straps, which includes our side ties here and our neck loop, which I'm going to trim this excess here. The neck loop should be big enough to put over your head. After those are sewn on, let's try it out. It's so simple and yet so cute, and I love the neutral color of this. I also love how deep these pockets are. I don't know exactly what I'm going to put in them, but hey, we always love a pocket. All right, so for our second project, we are going to be doing another sewing tutorial. It is almost soup season. It is fall. I'm so excited. The weather is getting cooler now. I love soup no matter what time of year it is, but it's especially good when it's cold outside. So I'm a soup girly for life. Like any type of soup, I love. It's so good. Particularly Asian soups, obviously, but like just soup is so good, right? So anyways, we are going to be making a bowl cozy. So if you don't know what a bowl cozy is, it is a piece of fabric that goes underneath your plate or your bowl coming out of the microwave so that you're not grabbing the hot plate and you're burning your hands off. So it just gives another like layer of protection between you and the bowl. I know I'm late to the game for these because I didn't know about these until this past January when I visited my friend in Utah, and she was bringing me a bowl of chili, and I was like, whoa, what are these? And she was like, oh, it's a fabric cozy for your bowl so that like you can just grab the bowl from the microwave without having to burn your hands. I was like, whoa, why didn't I think of this? This is so simple. So I'm gonna make some of my own. And then these are super great and just very useful for anyone. And if you want to do like ones for different seasons, because whatever fabric you choose, you can totally do that too. I'm gonna stick with neutrals today, per usual. So what you'll need is first this wrap and zap cotton batting. Do you want to make sure it is 100% cotton, because a lot of them will have either polyester and cotton, or cotton and plus scrim, which is like a plastic binder or some type of non-natural binder. So we want to make sure this is the one that you have that is microwavable and 100% cotton. And then same goes for your fabric. You want to make sure it's 100% cotton so that it can be microwavable. If you're using anything that has synthetic fibers in it, you're basically heating up plastic. So that's why we don't want to do that. So I have 3 different fabrics to make because I want to make some different sizes. And you also need some 100% cotton thread as well. All right, so that's everything we need. So let's get started on our second project. I'm going to be making a couple different sizes. They're going to be using fabric squares, 9x9 or 10x10, I think is most common. I also want to make bigger ones for these because I fit a lot of ramen in here, and I want to make a little bit bigger so it can fit these bowls as well. This is a 9-inch wide bowl. I'm going to do a 12-inch. I'm going to add 3 inches and do 12 inches. And then this one's a 7-inch bowl. So I'm going to do a 10-inch and see if that works. We want them to be snug and fit the bowl. All right, let's cut our squares. For this tutorial, I'm going to be mainly focusing on the 10-inch version. So we have 2 10-inch squares of our fabric and 2 10-inch squares of the batting. We'll arrange for 1 fabric square to be on top of 1 batting square and top stitch an X pattern across both sets. With the fabric side facing up, fold the square in half, and then we're going to make some darts. We're going to mark 1 inch up from the bottom and 2 inch inward from the edge, and then connect those 2 points to create this triangle. Do the same on the other side. Next, we'll unfold it, rotate it 90 degrees, and repeat those same steps. And then we'll repeat those again onto the other square. So there's going to be 4 darts on each square. Side note, I did actually find it was too loose with my really big bowl with these same measurements. So it was more narrow on this big bowl here, so I adjusted it to 1 inch up and 3 inch inward, and that gave me a more snug fit for this bowl. Then let's sew all the darts with a straight stitch. Now you can choose to leave the shape as is, but I want a more rounded shape, so I used a top of a takeout container to trace out the shape. Then we'll place the 2 squares into each other, the fabric side facing each other. Then we'll sew all the way around, except we'll leave one section to turn it right side out. After trimming the excess, we'll turn it right side out, give it a press around the edges, and do a top stitch all the way around to close up the gap and give it a polished look. And now we have a bowl cozy, so here are all 3 sizes that I made here. I actually made 2 sets, one for our home and another set to gift to a friend. All right, so you know when you go to like certain hotels or restaurants or bars, they have little matchbooks with their brand logo on it. And I thought that was a super cute idea to make custom matchbooks for some friends so that if they have friends coming over, they can grab some as a little token that they visited their friend's house. I've been really, really excited to make these ever since I saw this post from Tremont Home like months ago. I'll put her post here. She actually gets them made online from an online retailer, but since I have a Cricut, I thought might as well, like I should be able to make something similar at home. So yeah, let's get into making some custom matchbooks. We're going to make 2 different versions today. Both are going to be really awesome. The first one's going to be a little bit more simple and to the point, and then the second one is going to be a little bit more like elevated, I guess. All right, so our first version is going to be the simple and easy version. I have some cardstock, some Cricut markers, some pens and glue stick, and of course some matchbooks. These matchbooks are actually a pack of 10 I got from Dollar Tree for $1.25, so they are very affordable. On Cricut Design Space, we're going to design something simple and minimal since we're working on a very small canvas. So now you can go in many directions and what to put on them. You can include things you like, involve your pet's names, put a silly tagline, or keep it simple and put your name plus a type of establishment like DIY Gemini Home, DIY Gemini Hotel, DIY Gemini Pizza. For mine, I'm actually going to be just using my cousin's dog as inspiration. This is Milo. First, I'm going to set up a rectangle the same size as our matches, and then I'm going to insert this line drawing of a rocks glass, then add our title, attach that together and change it to the pen instead of a basic cut, and then we'll align the design to our rectangle and attach. Now let's run it on our Cricut. We're going to have a pen in clamp A and a fine point blade in clamp B, like this, and we'll let her run. To do 10 of these, this took about 10 minutes. It's relatively really quick. Now we can remove all the designs. I recommend bending the mat instead to remove the paper instead of bending the paper itself so that you don't get creases on the paper. Now all that's left to do is take our glue stick and glue our designs onto our matchbooks. And don't they look so cute? I especially love the cheeky back tagline here. Next, let's do our more elevated mode. We are going to work with foiling this time. We're going to go for a speakeasy type look with this one, like a little vintage. I'm going to be using Dorsey and Otis because these are the names of my friends' dogs. After I have my design and attached it together, I'm going to add this shape right here. And you can't really see it well here, but it's actually a series of a bunch of lines to help fill a shape. Otherwise, my design will be a hollow and just an outline and not filled. So we're going to make sure the rectangle covers the entire design. We'll change it to foil, and we're choosing the fine point here. Then, with only the rectangle selected, select weld. We're also going to weld our design together as well on its own. Next, select the design and the rectangle together and click slice. And this may take a couple seconds to show up, but the slice results should appear here, and you only need to keep the foil slice and delete the others. After, adjust the size of the matchbox and place the design on centered to the box, and then I'll duplicate it a couple times so that we can make a bunch all at once and arrange them in the most efficient way possible. The foil sheets are 4 by 6 inches, so I'm arranging them like so with washi tape. And note that the foil should be kept really taut. I also tested a variety of combos, and I found that this particular design, the fine tip with more pressure on heavy cardstock, seemed to work best. So we'll make sure the fine tip foil attachment is in clamp B and we'll let it run. This was a more intricate design with all the lines and filling of the letters, so this took around like 3.5 hours to do about 8 of them. After I was done foiling, this is what we have so far, and I have to admit, this is so fire. I am loving on how these came out. Before we unload the mat though, let's change it to the fine point blade. Make sure to not unload your mat when you're doing this. You're going to keep it there. And then we'll repeat the same process as before, removing the design and applying them to the matchbox with a glue stick. And these ones I'm using a black matchbox instead so that it's a little bit more seamless and more sleek. I absolutely adore these, and I know my friend is going to love them too. It's going to go so well on her bar, and I cannot wait to send it to her. All right, thank you so much for watching today's video. I am so stoked on how all of these came out. I am so excited because these are very useful and they're super cute. I especially love the matchbooks. They are my favorite. I have a 50 pack of those, so like I have way more than I could just make more designs later. So I'm really, really excited for that. There's so much customization that you guys can do with it and just run with it. Tremont Home also has posted like ideas of what to put on there, so check her page out as well. Let me know what designs that you would put on your matchbooks in the comments below. I'm really stoked to hear all of the creative ideas that you can think of. I think it'd be super cool. I can't wait to gift these to friends and they don't know that these are coming, so I'm really excited. I'm going to be also continuing the gift series for next video that's coming out in 2 weeks as well. Those are going to be geared towards a specific niche though, and more themed. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. And I will see you then. Bye guys.